Hi, I'm Ashley Swartz, CEO and founder of Furious Minds. Happy holidays. This is my weekly segment for Beat TV, and we're coming towards the end of the year, so there are lots of wrap-ups and year-end look-backs. So I'm going to use that today for fodder for some conversation and exploration. I'm looking at Nielsen's tops of 2012 for television and sort of their wrap-up of large top 10 single telecasts, top 10 programming from an audience perspective, and then top 10 sort of time-shifted TV programs. So no surprises this year. Largest single telecast was the Super Bowl. They were up 300,000 viewers year over year with 111,300,000 for 2012. You know, the top 10 for single telecast was dominated by sports, no surprise. NBC in the top 4 because of their NFL broadcast rights. And then the rest was basically sports, with the exception being the Grammy Awards, which came in at 10. The Olympic ceremony, just for sort of a reference point, came in at number 9 with a little over 40 million viewers. So, you know, no surprises. What is notable is that the originators of all those content and the broadcasts were all the top 4 networks, right? So NBC, Fox, and CBS. ABC actually did not fall in the top 10 at all. For the top primetime programs, as far as sort of, you know, overall rating points, NFL, no surprise, number 1. Top, you know, sort of 50 percentile was dominated by competition reality programming on Fox and NBC and ABC. There were only 2 scripted programs, same as last year, NCIS and Vegas. But you know, at the end of the day, it's sports, it's reality programming. That's what really is driving first run sort of viewership and audience. If we look at one of the largest notable things is that time shifting played a much larger role this year in audience viewing habits in the U.S., right? So we saw a significant lift in program viewership, most notably for the cable networks in time shifting. So of the top 10 time shifted programs, all of them more than doubled their total audience reach by virtue of having time-shifted programming. So number 1 was Breaking Bad on AMC. They saw a 130% increase in their audience by virtue of those that are watching time-shifted versus first run. And what is most notable is that of these top 10, they're all cable networks, right? So if we take a step back and we look at television overall, you know, there are over 9,000 channels in the U.S., right, available. And at the end of the day, the average U.S. household has upwards of 110, 120 channels available, and that data is a couple years old, so it's probably even more. And more than 50% of time spent watching TV is spent watching time-shifted television. So whether that is actual, you know, sort of DVR'd television, or it is on demand, premium on demand, or time-shifted sort of primetime television rather on demand. Over 50% is actually spent watching time-shifted. And I think that's actually increasing and on an upward slope because there's greater awareness that most of the operators are actually making available primetime TV within that syndication window, right? So that's going to drive time-shifted viewing also. But the question I want to explore is, if most of the time, if time-shifted TV viewing is dominated by cable networks, does it lend itself to new business models, right? We've been talking about the sort of decoupling and making actual channels themselves available a la carte through operators. But, you know, service providers have been saying that's going to disrupt the model and make it even more expensive if we actually start to cherry pick what people want to watch and make available to them their channel subscriptions one by one, right? But I actually think that maybe that's not the case. I actually think that more and more, as cable networks are relying more on syndication, less on syndication rather, and more on original scripted content, the power dynamics are changing, specifically when their audience viewing habits are remarkably different, notably different than the actual 4 major networks. The other thing is most of the innovation from a storytelling perspective, or a lot of it, and leadership is occurring on cable networks, right? Top Chef, Sons of Anarchy, not just their programming, but what they're doing on the second screen and how they're leveraging social to drive audience and actually get their audiences to engage, even though their audiences, interestingly enough, are not necessarily watching on the first run primetime viewing. I think there's an opportunity for them to start to actually leverage that from a power position and create new distribution models and actually maybe even circumvent the service provider and go more direct to their audience, right? They have audience, it's notable, it's actually, I think, a power position for them they need to start leveraging more. 2013 looking ahead, right? I think 2012 from television was about social with the Olympics and about the second screen, and we keep talking about the second screen. Nobody knows how to make money. I actually think in 2013, the disruption in television is going to be about distribution. There are going to be new models that pop up. I don't think Apple's going to be the winner. I think we're going to be surprised at players that come in and offer new distribution models and new ways for audiences to consume content and actually be in greater control of the programming that is actually getting to their living room, both how it's getting there, what they're paying for it, and how they're choosing to select it, and how actually self-curation is a bigger and bigger part of how people make decisions as to whether or not they're going to pay for a cable subscription or they're just going to go 100% over the top. I'm excited about what's to come. I'm excited for CES. I've packed my energy bars and my water, and I look forward to seeing any and all of you there. If you've got questions, want to continue the dialogue, reach out to me, Ashley@furious-minds.com, and I wish you all a very safe and happy holiday season. Thanks.